HMS Albion in Plymouth Sound with RFA Mounts Bay. The shipping, along with 4-5 Commando, Royal Marines and helicopters, are training around the UK coastline as part of Opakillion, which sees the Littoral Response Group predominantly working in the Mediterranean for 3 months.
There we'll be working across the whole of the region, really important region for the UK, and we'll be working with a mixture of NATO and French, maybe US task groups, into North Africa with our partners there, and really across the full range of countries in that region.
Joining Opakillion alongside HMS Albion and RFA Mounts Bay will be HMS Defender and RFA Argus, plus Merlins and Wildcats from Commando Helicopter Force and Puma drones.
Some real complexity to the Littoral Response Group North. We cover the whole of the European area, and so whether it's up in the Arctic and the challenging conditions there or down the Mediterranean, everything brings a slightly different element. So learning to handle an aircraft in the cold and then taking that into the hot, dry environment of, say, North Africa is really challenging for the team. This year we're deploying with a slightly larger task group with a little bit more aviation capability, and so that's going to give us lots of areas in which we can learn, and then integrating some of the more kind of technically advanced capabilities like uncrewed air systems as well into what we're doing, and working how do we integrate that across the maritime domain into the air and onto the land.
Before they head to the Mediterranean, part of the UK training is making sure ships, aviation and Royal Marines can all work together.
We're conducting what we call sort of force integration training, which for us is getting used to working alongside the ship, integrating the ship, and for our Marines it's getting back qualified on the landing craft and the helicopters and the amphibious forces that we use to get from the ship to the shore. We don't get to do it quite as much as we probably used to, and so we haven't done this training for over a year now. So to make sure we're current and competent and safe, we're spending a couple of weeks here in the UK to make sure that we're ready to go for operations when we leave.
The commandos practice the basics of getting on and off ship using landing craft and helicopters and move onto tactical scenarios. It's not just about practicing at moving people around, but kit and equipment too. There's not an inch to spare on the vehicle deck. The operations room, the hub of the ship, often referred to as the fighting brain, is getting busier, making sure HMS Albion is fully prepared. So this is HMS Albion's magazine, so it's where they store all the ammunition. It's absolutely packed in here. Different types of ammunition for lots of different weapon systems, so GPMGs, general purpose machine guns, javelins, so handheld rocket launchers, mortars, detonation charge. There's everything in there that you could possibly think of. Now, I'm not allowed in with any camera or filming equipment because it's got to be made intrinsically safe, so nothing can go in that might create a spark. So even the lights have plastic casing on them to make it as safe as possible. The ship has to be ready for anything.
I think we deploy at an incredibly interesting time. It definitely sets a mindset for us to deploy forward into what is a really interesting and really important geographical region for NATO, for the UK. And I think what the Littoral Response Group gives is a really capable, flexible force with some real punch to it that can either support action ashore or potentially support anything from humanitarian disaster relief, non-combatant evacuation. So an incredible tool for the government to have in their toolkit, so to speak, to deploy. And of course the other thing is that what the Littoral Response Group gives is a task group that can self-sustain, that could deploy anywhere in the Mediterranean up to a week, but actually it could go further afield.
Bryony Williams, Forces News, Plymouth. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.